अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी, बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। वेरी वार्म वेलकम। आज हमें ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं एट नूर इंटरनेशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज फायरसाइड चैट नबील कदीर साहब. We will do a formal introduction for Nabil. Nabil, I'd like to take the opportunity for thanking you for joining us here today. Before we go into our session for today, a quick video about what Noor International University is about, and then we'll be right back and launch into our session. Admin team, thank you. All right, welcome back. So, Nabil, thank you very much, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, and welcome, and thank you again for joining us today. मैं अब आपका formal तारुफ कराता हूँ, sir. मेरा नाम है Salem Rehman. I am the Vice Chancellor for Noor International University. Nabil Qadeer साहब का a very warm welcome. Nabil is a coach, entrepreneur, content producer, and of course, more recently, an author. He's the executive director and member board of directors at Infinite ScaleUp. He's a certified business coach, entrepreneur, consultant, content producer, and author. We'll get to shortly. He completed his Masters of Science in Business and Management with distinction from University of Strathclyde in UK, and then holds a BS degree in Computer Sciences from Fast News in Pakistan. He's also a certified project management consultant, a professional, member of the advisory committee of the Planning Commission on ICT, and a member of Corporate Pakistan Group. He's the country consultant for Stacks Pakistan, which is a local chapter of the Stacks ecosystem. Hero Systems BBC, a US-based blockchain technology company working to decentralize the internet, giving the ownership of data back to the end user. Nabil is also a senior certified professional coach on the standards of the International Coaching Federation, ICF, and is the founder of the U Company, a coaching and training consultancy firm. Nabil has written a book. This book is about you, that helps individuals find the best versions of themselves. And Nabil believes in the potential of our youth to bring about a change in Pakistan and invests in them by teaching leadership, entrepreneurship, and management. So Nabil, with that wonderful introduction, welcome again to the session. और आज का topic हमारा है what is a learning mindset. So as we hand over to you, Nabil, हमें साथ साथ ये जरूर बताते चलिए in the introduction part that we may have missed about कि what exactly are we referring to in a learning mindset, and help us understand what your journey has been in making you arrive at where you are today.
Okay, thank you, Salem, and आपका बहुत शुक्रिया. Should we keep this bilingual or should we be all?
बिल्कुल हमारा गोल होता है कि to keep as bilingual as possible. मेरी उर्दू frankly मैं admit करता हूँ जरा कमजोर है, लेकिन हमारा गोल होता है कि हम इसको bilingual रखें.
Because ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों को बात भी समझ आती है फिर अगर हम ज़्यादा उर्दू में बात भी करते हैं. But I'll try and keep it bilingual as well. So thank you for inviting me, Salem. I've known you since about 9 years now. Then the first time I held a small investors meeting back in the days when I was a सरकारी नौकर. तो वहाँ पे मैंने आपको तकलीफ दी थी कि आप आएं. आपको याद होगा हमारी पहली मुलाकात हुई थी. We're trying to set up an angel investors fund, and that was very early days for the startup ecosystem of Pakistan as well, if you remember, very early days.
मैं एक क्विक इंटरजेक्शन करूंगा कि कल ही बल्कि हमारा सेशन हो रहा था विद खुरम जफर सिमिलर टाइम यस्टरडे, एंड इसी के बारे में बल्कि मैंने बात की और बाकायदा कहा कि कल यानी टुडे इज गोइंग टू बी अ सेशन विद योरसेल्फ, तो ये बड़ा अच्छा टाइम हो रहा है। इंसिडेंटली कल की मेरी नोटबुक एक्चुअली वाज अ प्लान 9 नोटबुक, जहां से हम शुरू हुए थे और हमने वीसी के बारे में बात की। टुडे इज जस्ट अ पोस्टेड स्टिकर बुक, बट प्लीज आई विल अलाउ यू टू कंटिन्यू, आई डिडंट मीन टू इंटरजेक्ट।
Thank you. So I was just saying that you were amongst those people who I really who I've really found different from most people who I meet. I've had a very public life, so I meet a lot of people in the day, a lot of people. So I can't even keep count anymore. But the one most amazing thing that I loved about you, and I want to say that to you before we begin talking about myself and my life and all this, is that how during those very intense discussions on money and investments, you would slip out for 4 to 5 minutes to pray. Give you a namaz that time. And that used to be such a beautiful gesture and so different than everything else happening around. It used to really move me, and I never got a chance to admire you for that. But I thought this is the time when you are a VC, and a VC is someone who is supposed to be a role model, I feel, for a university, for the faculty, for the administration, for the students. It's a very big responsibility. So जो आप रोल अदा कर रहे हैं उसमें आपके बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स होंगे जो आपकी बनाई हुई पॉलिसीज के ऊपर आगे अपने करियर्स को डायरेक्शन देंगे। तो अगर उन पॉलिसीज में कहीं ना कहीं पे रूहानियत और ताल्लुक का हो मामला अल्लाह ताला से, तो I think things can never go wrong. So I just wanted to say that I've always remembered you not for the tile company that you have or the hospitals you have or the university, but the person you are. So that makes you a very special human being, and that had to be mentioned. As far as I am concerned, and you mentioned how I am supposed to speak a bit about the learning mindset. In my opinion, frankly, जब हम learning mindset की बात करते हैं ना, तो I have in my years of learning, my own years of learning, what I figured is a learning mindset is basically a free mind. It's a mind free of narratives and perceptions, a mind free from the fear of the unknown, mind sure of who they are. I mean, how do you become that? You basically become that by what we call self-reflection. If you reflect and try and find the reasons why we are alive, and then we focus on the things that really matter, only then are we able to execute things that would actually convert. वरना करने को तो बहुत कुछ है, लेकिन उन सब distractions से निकल कर focus कर सकना on things that really matter. I think that is what a learning mindset does. It helps you reflect, focus, and then execute. That to me is a learning mindset. And I think अगर आपने कभी grow करना है जिंदगी में, कहते हैं growth mindset होना, मैं समझता हूँ जिसका learning mindset नहीं होता वो growth mindset पे नहीं जा सकता, because growth mindset को बल्कि अपनी book में भी मैंने एक formula बना के explain किया था कि growth mindset वो mindset होता है जो impact को seek करता है. A mindset is a way of thinking, a way of life that's seeking impact. An impact कैसे होता है? Impact होता है effort raised to the power intention. अगर आप इसके mathematics भी करो तो you'll know what I mean. If you want to know the size of impact, the magnitude of impact someone is ever going to have, it's that person's effort raised to the power intention. जितना intention positive होगी उतनी effort ज़्यादा magnify करेगी. Effort जितनी मर्जी कर लो, अगर intention negative होगी तो आपका जो impact है वो कभी भी उस हिसाब से नहीं होगा. In my humble opinion, I think learning mindset यही है. और जो मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में career choices लिए या जो ले रहा हूँ अभी भी कर रहा हूँ, उसमें वो खास diversity नहीं है. लोग बहुत कहते हैं कि जी बड़ा कुछ किया हुआ है, किताब भी लिखी हुई है, टेलीविजन भी किया हुआ है, ये भी किया, वो भी किया, पता नहीं क्या क्या. The common theme, Salim, has been around instilling hope and a self-belief. I think these are the two things that I learned from my grandfather, who somehow your family happens to know as well from many, many, many years ago, because he happened to be a doctor himself, and there was a link. So he was my inspiration, and I was this little boy who used to walk with him across the halls of Fatma Memorial when he would be administering the situation there, and all of that, and back in the late 80s and the early 90s, that time. So mujhe wo waqt yaad hai. So these are things I learned from him, things that I used to see him do, very unconventional things. I would ask him why the last 20 years of his life, he never charged a penny for the work he did for people. I would ask him why. And he explained to me the concept of impact. And that's where I understood कि अच्छा जिंदगी में अगर इम्पैक्ट लेना है तो थीम आपकी एक होनी चाहिए, आपका तरीक़ेकार मुख्तलिफ हो सकते हैं, आपका आप क्या पता किसी दिन पानी की बोतलें बेचने का कारोबार शुरू कर दें, क्या पता आप किसी और दिन कोई नया स्कूल खोल लें, लेकिन आपका जो वैल्यू सिस्टम है और जो आप सीख कर रहे हैं वो वही होता है। वैल्यू सिस्टम ही तो होता है जो SOPs बन जाते हैं। हम कहते हैं ना SOPs होने चाहिए, SOPs होने चाहिए। SOPs are a reflection of our value system. जितना अच्छा लीडर होगा, उसका वैल्यू सिस्टम उतना स्ट्रांग होगा, उतने ही वो अच्छे SOPs बनाएगा और वो अपने लोगों से काम करवा लेगा। So my life has been around this theme that I figured is that Pakistan हमारा मुल्क है, बड़े कम लोगों के पास ये फैसिलिटी होती है जो हमें मिली हैं। मुझे लगता है कि इसका फ्यूचर जो है वो यूथ के पास है, और यूथ ही इसका फ्यूचर को बेहतर कर सकती है। और यूथ को दो चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है, एक सेल्फ बिलीफ और एक बिलीफ इन देयर ओन क्रिएटर। वो क्रिएटर वाला बिलीफ जो बाद में जाके समझ आता है जब मारे पड़ जाती हैं, लेकिन चलो पहले सेल्फ बिलीफ ही मिल जाए, बड़ी बात। बिलीफ के दो हिस्से हैं ना, तो इस चक्कर में ही सारे काम किए। तो टीवी पे आने का कोई खास शौक नहीं था, ना मुझे टीवी करना आता, मुझे तो कैमरे को देखना भी नहीं आता था। तो मैंने इसलिए किया था क्योंकि मुझे लगा कि थ्रू माय टीवी शो पीपल वुड फील दैट masses would feel that money and access to capital is not something for the rich only. It can be for a common man. All you need is a good idea. Just bring it on television, just talk about it, make that pitch, and you can get access to that capital. That's why the TV show happened. You mentioned Plan 9. The reason to work with the government was because I understood that the impact you can have while being in the government is massive. But ho nahi raha tha, and we saw people in the government not performing. Rather than criticizing them, I thought, how about giving some years of my life into learning how it actually works, and maybe I can create some things that would create impact. So alhamdulillah, if you see through the people we got together, there was Umar Saif there back then in that era. There was myself, and then there was this young team of very, very energetic young humans who wanted to change the world. So we ended up creating some nice, I'd say, founding initiatives that have built the foundation now, alhamdulillah, of a very thriving ecosystem of Pakistan. What Plan 9 and Plan X and did, NICs are doing better today. They're a better version of that today. If you look at the e-Rozgar centers we launched for freelancers back then, now you see Pakistan being ranked 3rd and 4th in freelancing in the world. So the work you do, you may not be the best at it, but if you start it with a good intention and you put the right amount of effort, I think it gets carried, and better people come in, and then they encash upon the work you've done, and they build even better things. That's how improvement happens. That's how scale is achieved as well for anything you do. So this is pretty much what I can say initially against your question. I think I've tried to cover 2 or 3 aspects.
Bilkul, thank you, and I think excellent introduction and a very diverse journey. I think that you've gone through in arriving where you are today. I think we plugged in some gaps, but for those who don't know, I think the TV program that you were mentioning is the idea Karodon Ka. In case I believe I failed to mention that. So Nabil was instrumental in doing that, and वो वाकई एक putting an idea from just an idea to literally a business model was something which that program was fantastic. So अच्छा ये बताइए नबील कि given where you are today, you mentioned the learning mindset. आपने कहा कि जी it's about reflection, it's about focus, and it's about execution. आपने अपनी भी एक life path बड़ी non-traditional career choices adopt किए हैं. Coming back to us as a university, हमारा goal has been to not be unfortunately what traditional universities have come to be, खासतौर पे पाकिस्तान में, because यहाँ पे हमेशा गोल होता है कि जी आप एक बड़ी स्पेसिफिक चीज पढ़ें और वो आपने इटरेटिवली अपनी लाइफ जॉब करनी है, इतनी नौकरी करनी है, यहाँ पे क्लाइम करना है, रिटायर करना है, खत्म हो गई बात. Whereas higher education is much more than that. It's recognizing, it's reconfiguring your mind. आपने बिल्कुल वाइब क्लीन करना है, क्लीन स्लेट के साथ शुरू करना है. आप बताइए, आप लाइफ कोचिंग भी करते हैं. What would be some of the things जो कि आप हमें एडवाइस करेंगे कि चले एजुकेशन फॉर द सेक ऑफ एजुकेशन तो ऑब्वियसली हमने इम्पार्ट करनी ही करनी है, हम क्या चीजें कुछ इनकलकेट कर सकते हैं. आप और मेरी ऑफलाइन भी इस पे गुफ्तगू हुई है. कैन वी स्पेल आउट सम थिंग्स दैट वी कैन do within our coursework above and beyond the traditional coursework, which would help our incoming students, our prospective students, our current students, even some of our alumni come back and say कि अच्छा जी, we are wanting to change the world. It's not just a run of the mill. आप क्या चीजें उसमें inculcate करेंगे as a life coach first, and then reflecting upon your journey and helping us understand through the learning mindset physiology कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं.
Okay. So I would give my take on this. I mean, जो मुझे समझ आया है, मैं आपको वो बताता हूँ. I'll take my roles that I've taken in life. So if I've been an entrepreneur, आज भी what I'm doing is pretty entrepreneurial. Whatever all we're doing right now, content production की वो हो गया, या as a coach that I work with various CEOs and business leaders to help them. Help them give their own answers to their own questions. So that's what a coach does. If I were to map it on how all of this can be put into some value, I think when you're an entrepreneur, you have to feel, you have to believe, you have to have a system within your own self where you feel for a problem and you develop a solution to fix that problem. Now that is I feel a mindset that a young student needs. You cannot just do mathematics and calculus and discrete mathematics and all of those courses and differential equations and algorithms and not be able to apply them on real things. Everything we did in our O levels, in our A levels, या even FSCs and metrics, जिन लोगों ने जो भी पढ़ा, आप देखिए जिंदगी तो है ही पूरी की पूरी मैथमेटिक्स. हमारी बॉडी पूरी की पूरी बायोलॉजी और केमिस्ट्री है. तो अगर हम उसको अप्लाई नहीं करते तो हम कैसे किसी भी प्रॉब्लम को, रियल प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करेंगे. So I think the approach in teaching needs to be very entrepreneurial. It has to be very close to real life problems being solved in a classroom. And that is what the biggest challenge for universities is today. Because those people who are teaching it, they've not been part of that problem solving process themselves. It's not really a student's fault. I always believe it's always, if your student is not done well, it's the teacher's fault. It's not the student's fault. It's very easy for us. I'm a teacher myself. I've been teaching for 8-9 years. It's very easy for me to give a grade and say, "Oh, बच्चे अच्छे हैं और बाकी अच्छे नहीं हैं." Again, it's totally my responsibility, all 40 of them, if they are my class. And that responsibility has to become part of our business ethic in a university. ये जिम्मेदारी कि हम तालीम नहीं देते, हम तरबियत भी देते हैं. ये जो मिक्स है ना तालीम और तरबियत का, ये कामयाबी का असल मिक्स है. यूनिवर्सिटीज ये नहीं दे पा रही हैं. अगर आप एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप या एंटरप्रेन्योरियल माइंडसेट को इंस्टिल कर लेते हैं अपने टीचिंग मेथोडोलॉजी के अंदर, अपनी पेडागोजीज के अंदर, I think आपने 70% बच्चों की जिंदगी, उस क्लास की 70% लोगों की जिंदगियों को कोई ना कोई डायरेक्शन दे दी है. So एक एंगल तो टीचिंग में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का आता है कि आपको every teacher needs to think with an entrepreneurial mindset for him or her to be able to translate it to those 40 students in his class. ये पहली चीज मैं समझता हूँ जरूरी है. With content production, you know what I'll say, what I would advise young people and even the faculty. A guy like me who had zero experience of content production. I don't even watch TV. I don't even watch television myself. And if I was asked, यार एक show बनाना पड़ेगा और कैसे करते हैं? And I'll tell you, the real person to be appreciated for this would be the chairman of that channel, who pushed on this. I told him it's not going to be a business model. It's going to be a loss-making project. I'm telling you. उसके बाद आप मुझे जुतियां मारेंगे 6 महीने बाद कि यार ये तो पैसे नहीं बनाए तुमने इसमें. So the bravery he took was, he said, this is the change the television needs. So I will invest in that change. You make it happen because you might be able to figure it out. Now cut this line for a student or for a faculty member as a learning point. Yes, you don't know how it's done, but the fact that you can create anything you want to create, that would आपने कहा changing the world वाला mindset, that mindset has to be instilled by a faculty member into a student. That belief that anything's doable. अब मैं तो mass com नहीं पढ़ा हुआ था, कभी कैमरा नहीं किया हुआ था, but there came a time in season 2 when I was telling my cameraman which shots to take, when I was telling my editors how to edit. This is how you improve. So this ability to learn something that you don't even know yourself on day 0, but on day 5 you're better at. This continuous improvement approach, ये हमारी universities में lack करती है, जिसकी वजह से एक बच्चा जब कोई नौकरी पे जाता है और उसको उसका कोई बॉस या उसका मैनेजर उसे काम देता है, वो उसमें परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाता क्योंकि उसको लगता है कि उसको तो आता ही नहीं, या वो कैसे करेगा. ये एक सोच है. सेल्फ बिलीफ अगर वो इंस्टिल्ड नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग एबिलिटी इंस्टिल्ड नहीं है, और अगर पहला जवाब आपका ना है, ये मुझसे नहीं होगा, is a big problem. And I think I've been on the hiring table for about 13-14 years myself, and I've been hiring from good schools, Pakistan ke bahar se bhi. And I'm telling you, it's not just about the degree. Some of the, I remember interviewing a few Princeton students or each university, but they could not survive in a culture that we brought them. I mean, they just could not adapt enough. So it's not just about the university, it's about how you build your personality, whether it's your upbringing from your households, and of course, university plays a major role as well. So being able to take up challenges and doing new things is what I learned from content production. ये हो सकता है, सब कुछ किया जा सकता है. As a coach, when I look at these things, I think coach का काम क्या है? He helps improve an entrepreneur's decision, a CEO's decision making, and in turn improves the organization. So and in effect, positively it impacts all of the lives that are influenced by that particular organization. So human capital कहते हैं. I think the one thing where people need to get coached is, and I think this is the biggest problem right now, biggest problem. If we focus on that problem, I think we've solved, I think 80% of Pakistan's problem. The problem of lack of focus. That lack of focus on things is remarkably low, not just in young people, in every one of us, in each individual around us. देखिए, अगर हम कोई भी काम ठीक तरह करें, ठीक तरह करने के लिए आपको अपने distractions को remove करना पड़ता है. आपको एक certain target करना पड़ता है, उस target को भी action plan बना के उसको execute करना पड़ता है. उसमें आप गिरते भी हैं, fail भी होते हैं, नाकाम भी होते हैं. लेकिन अगर आप lack of focus से मार खा रहे हैं ना, तो वो बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. मेरी नजर में the one thing that a coach instills and a teacher must instill as well is focus. आमतौर पे हम देखें, हम बहुत सी चीजों, because we are in the digital age, we have access to a mobile phone, and lots of data coming in front of us in social media, notifications. हमारा दिमाग ना, मैं समझता हूँ एक लिटरली सा आपके पीछे एक बड़ी खूबसूरत सी लकड़ी की एक अलमारी टाइप बनी हुई, हालांकि वो अलमारी तो नहीं है, क्योंकि उस पर कंपार्टमेंट्स हैं। इस तरह ही मेरा ख्याल है हमारे दिमाग में भी कंपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं। एंड while our imagination could be infinite, our capacity to store information and retrieve it is finite. It is very important for young people to understand the importance of knowing what to register here and what not to. अपनी senses का इस्तेमाल कैसे करना है. You will be shown so much of crap, but do you want to absorb all of it? Do you want to keep it and store it? Because होता क्या है कि जब काम पे या pressure points पे जब आपको जरूरत पड़ती है perform करने की, your mind does not process at the same speed because वो used to ही नहीं है. वो इतना comfort zone में आ चुका है कि जो गंद आ रहा है, जो चीज आ रही है उसको लिए जाओ, रखे जाओ, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, इंटरनेट ही है ना यार. क्या है? If you're not interested in cricket, why do you want to know कि कल के मैच का स्कोर क्या था? It's not important. So to know what is important is how you fight distractions. मैंने ऐसा कहा कि जब आप self reflect करते हो ना, तो आपको अपनी जिंदगी का असल मकसद समझ आना शुरू होता है. ये बड़ा प्रोसेस है, ये कोई एक दिन थोड़ी होता है कि one fine Monday morning मुझे मकसद मिल गया अपना. We are all striving towards that purpose, right? But उसकी तरफ जाने के लिए सबसे पहली चीज जो सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन करती है वो आपके डिस्ट्रैक्शंस को दूर करना शुरू कर देती है. आपके जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें नहीं है, आपका जो बैग का वेट है ना, वो लाइटन अप होना शुरू हो जाता है. दिस पर्सन इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट, दिस इशू इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड स्लोली यू स्टार्ट बिकमिंग मोर फोकस्ड ऑन द थिंग्स दैट रियली मैटर. एंड दैट इज व्हेन एक्सिक्यूशन बिकम्स इजी. That is when implementation becomes easy. I see so many good people I have hired who are not able to perform. And when you break it down for them, you've given them everything that they need, but they're not able to perform. The problem you will find is they're carrying way too much baggage of things that have that is no association with the goals of their life. आपके goals अगर आपके जो आपके पास नॉलेज है, जो आपके पास एक्सपीरियंस है, जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है, अगर वो सब कुछ एक लाइन में नहीं आएगी तो गोल मीट नहीं होगा. और उस पर जितना मर्जी आप पैसा लगा लें और वक्त लगा लें. सो आई थिंक जो चीज अंडरस्टैंड करने वाली है वो ये होगी कि क्या जो हम पढ़ा रहे हैं यूनिवर्सिटी में अपनी, क्या हम जिस तरह पढ़ा रहे हैं, क्या वो एक स्टूडेंट को प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर बना रहा है. दूसरी चीज, क्या वो एक स्टूडेंट को एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल ह्यूमन बीइंग बना रहा है. देखिए, व्हेन यू गेट एम्प्लॉयड समवेयर, इट इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू परफॉर्म योर ड्यूटीज दैट वर गिवन टू यू. ये मैं कोई रॉकेट साइंस तो बोल नहीं रहा हूं, ये बड़ी आम बात है, लेकिन ये होता नहीं है, इसलिए इदारा परफॉर्म नहीं करता. व्हाट इज इदारा? क्या चीज है जी? इदारा लोग हैं. तो अगर लोग ही परफॉर्म नहीं करेंगे तो इदारा कैसे परफॉर्म करेगा? इसीलिए जो यूनिवर्सिटी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो बहुत बड़ी है. उसने सिर्फ और सिर्फ पढ़ा के बच्चा बाहर नहीं फेंकना, उसने एक एम्प्लॉयबल ह्यूमन कैपिटल क्रिएट करनी है. ये बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. या तो ये कर लो या फिर एक और स्ट्रीम लो. इतना उसको फ्री थिंकर बनाओ कि फिर वो टेढ़े मेढ़े इनिशिएटिव्स लॉन्च करे, वो स्टार्टअप्स करे. और उसके लिए कैपिटल के मसले आ जाते हैं. हर घर से जो बच्चा आता है उसके पास तो वो पैसा नहीं कि वो उसमें इन्वेस्ट कर सके, ना वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. उसके माँ बाप ने उसको मुश्किल से पढ़ाया है, उसने अब उस पैसे को वापस पे बैक करना है. तो वहां पर क्या जर्नी होना चाहिए? सो द वन थिंग आई एडवाइज इज काउंसलिंग एट एवरी year end for those 4 years of degree is essential. You need to have a clear cut plan for each student in your university. और आगे उस बच्चे की जिम्मेदारी है कि वो कितना सीरियसली उस प्लान को लेता है. लेकिन यूनिवर्सिटी अगर ये सर्विस देती है और अच्छी तरह देती है तो आई थिंक ये बहुत बड़ी कंट्रीब्यूशन हो पाकिस्तान के फ्यूचर के लिए.
वेरी ट्रू. एंड आपने बड़ी अगेन खूबसूरत बातें की रिगार्डिंग ये जो लैक ऑफ फोकस का सबसे बड़ा आपने एक फैक्टर पॉइंट आउट किया. आई थिंक like everybody else, हम as a university अगर हम देखें तो फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म या जो आउटकम ऑफ measurement of outcomes is something that of course at the end of every year exams होते हैं, at the end of every semester exams होते हैं, then the child, the student graduates, they enter the real world, which is again the test of how much the university has been able to inculcate this mindset of analytical thinking, of reasoning, of adapting to real life. इसमें एक सवाल जरूर आता है कि in this day and age we are used to instant gratification, instant feedback, and then वो आप instead of a continuity, it's like constant up and down. चले, the overall path might be gradually upwards, but that recalibration part I think is very important. Like you mentioned, कि जो खाने खप्पे बने हुए हैं, is to try and derive some sort of focus. आपके ओपिनियन में अगर हम एक इसी से रिलेटेड सवाल लें कि there, somebody's asked online कि there are so many distractions these days for the youth in so many things, digital age में खास तौर पे, too much information has actually affected our focus. What are your thoughts about this? Feedback is good, instant feedback is better in a lot of ways, but the recalibration needs to be really assessed before being actioned upon. Your thoughts?
I think आपने अपनी बात में अपना जवाब भी दिया है. बहुत ही important बात की आपने सालिम, because my 2 cents on this would be that when someone gives me feedback, I know this may sound a bit harsh, but I always check who's giving me feedback and about what. I mean, I'm sitting in my drawing room in the evening and I'm telling Shah Afridi, the new famous sensation, how to bowl fast. I mean, he has all the right to tell me, Nabil Saab, please stick to coaching and stick to building little companies that you're trying to build. It's not my area. So feedback and acknowledgement is not supposed to be seeked or taken or absorbed or acted upon without a certain filter. It's very important to understand that, because इस seek of acknowledgement में हम गलतियां कितनी कर जाते हैं. We end up appeasing so many people who don't even matter and whose opinion also has no credibility. So important understanding ये जरूरी है कि जब आपको इतनी information आ रही है और इतना ज़्यादा आपको point of view मिल रहा है, आप point of views कह लीजिए ना कि ये भी हो रहा है, वो भी हो रहा है, अपनी मर्जी से कर लो. The 2 things that every human must remember, and again, this is once again someone who's older to me taught me this. Remember 2 things: your resources and your capabilities. They're never going to be the same for 2 people or 3 or 4. The best analysis of your own self and of any feedback given to you has to be taken in the light of your resources and your capabilities. दोनों चीजों को improve किया जा सकता है. आप resources भी बेहतर कर सकते हैं, आप capabilities को भी further polish कर सकते हैं. लेकिन क्या हम वो करने को तैयार हैं? क्या हम उतनी मेहनत, उतनी लगन के साथ, उतने passion के साथ, are we willing to change ourselves that much? It's a big question. I have not seen many people do that. It is very easy to give feedback and an opinion, but it's very hard to implement the same on your own self. It's very difficult. So I think बड़ा ज़रूरी होता है कि when someone gives me some point of view about some of the work I've done, I make sure I see who's saying it and what kind of value can this feedback give me. I mean, that's very, very important. I mean, if there's someone I respect, I also have a breakdown of that, and I'm sure you also do, Salem, because I know how you think to some extent. कि respect के भी different dimensions हैं. आप किसी का काम respect करते हैं, क्या पता आप उसकी personality को respect ना करते हैं. आप किसी की personality को बहुत respect करते हैं, आप इसके काम का आपको शायद इतना interest ना हो. तो आप किस पैराई में किसकी इज्जत करते हैं, इसका उसी हिसाब से उसका opinion आप absorb करेंगे ना. So I think बड़ा जरूरी होता है कि feedback लेना चाहिए, बहुत अच्छी चीज है. Feedback is a good thing, but I think getting dwelled or overwhelmed by that feedback And wanting to prove things to people is the wrong approach. You don't want to prove anything to anyone. You must prove everything to your own self first. You set your own goal. You are your own benchmark. When you did something, it didn't work out very well, challenge yourself to do better next time. It'll get better. And at certain point ke baad, you will achieve what you thought is the impossible. And then after that, you'll start thinking, I can do much more. And this is continuous improvement. This is finding yourself. The journey of finding yourself. This is pretty much it. You set your own benchmark. Yes, you always have people around you who are doing certain things better than you are. But again, you have to calibrate their resources and their capabilities. Their circumstances, they may not be the same. You cannot compare your page number 7 with someone's page number 27. You can't compare it. It's not right. It doesn't make sense. So comparison in itself is a big problem. See, so feedback, अगर इसलिए लिया जा रहा है क्योंकि आप किसी से कंपेयर कर रहे हैं तो वो तो वैसे ही गलत हो गया. हाँ, feedback इसलिए लिया जा रहा है कि you are thirsty to improve your own self. Sure, that's a good idea. But again, I want to bring this point up because in the industry I operate, there is something called this word that's used a lot, mentors. A mentorship is a very big responsibility. I did not realize it, Salem, when you and I used to be involved with Plan 9 many years ago. And I used to say to people on calls, can you guys come and mentor my startups? And I figured when someone says no, that person is actually more sensible than someone who says, I'm going to come, no problem. Just make sure you send me the pictures while I'm mentoring people so I can put it up on Facebook. And I realize now that you can do something disastrous to a startup's mindset or a founder's mindset by giving him or her direction in a 5-minute conversation, which would be the complete opposite of what he's doing or she's doing. And you won't take any responsibility of it. देखो ना, 4 लोग आए, 4 लोगों ने एक फाउंडर को 4 तरह से गाइडेंस दे दी. एक ने कहा नॉर्थ जाओ, एक ने कहा ईस्ट जाओ, एक ने कहा वेस्ट जाओ, एक ने कहा साउथ चले जाओ. अब उस रात को बेचारा कहाँ जाए? आपने तो उसको फंसा दिया. इसलिए उस बेचारे के लिए मेरे लिए मैसेज होगा कि आप बेचारे नहीं हैं. अल्लाह ने आपको दिमाग दिया है. ये स्टार्टअप आपका अपना है. उससे मोहब्बत कीजिए. Be so passionate about it that yes, you've taken feedback, but you need to know out of the 4 directions मैंने कौन सी वाली पे जाना है. मुझे चारों के एंगल्स दे दिए गए हैं. So that decision making, life, Salem, is literally nothing else but decisions and choices. और है क्या जिंदगी हमारी? थोड़ी सी जिंदगी है. 60, 70, maybe 80 stretch कर जाएंगे. उससे भी कुछ लोग कम में चले जाते हैं. So I think it's all decisions and choices. तो अगर वो रिफाइन हो जाती हैं थ्रू फीडबैक, वंडरफुल. अगर वो फर्दर कंफ्यूज हो जाती हैं आपके लिए, तो ये तो फीडबैक तो बल्कि वबाले जान बन जाते हैं. इट्स एक्चुअली मोर डेंजरस थिंग.
So Nabil, again मैं एक quickly introduction इधर करूँगा. A life coach that I personally have had an experience with said something really beautiful, I think would be the right word for it. उसने मुझे कहा कि देखें, and he had understood our culture, बाहर का था. He had understood our culture and he says, here in Pakistan, you have a tendency to not seek out counseling or coaching because you feel you've got a fantastic social network, a family setup. But what you don't never forget is the fact that you've got baggage with them. You are seeking advice or feedback on the basis of proximity rather than objectivity. And that can be a deal breaker, because what you are today, like you said, for somebody who can guide you professionally or personally, is not somebody who you were, let's say 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when your sibling or your parent or your cousins knew you as a child. Which brings us up to the really important point that coaching today, life coaching, counseling, this is a professional realm which has significant value. And for those students, we always inculcate in our university that जो students abhi clear nahi hai in terms of what they want to do, it's not a bad thing. Being inquisitive and not being clear is something which is a natural part of life. And the beauty of the American education system is
Yeah.
you can have undeclared majors for years on end before you need to to have this. So I would say कि आपकी ये जो and very kindly you had offered कि at some point inshallah, now that COVID is hopefully mostly behind us, some point we'd like to get you over to the university and have a session for a larger audience to tell them about what coaching is about and what life coaching is about. I realize you do mostly executive, senior executive, C-level coaching, but I really feel that a broader session to help them understand what coaching is about would really help refine the value proposition for them as a student, and for them to then utilize it in terms of what their focus can be in the university as they graduate. So thank you, and very kindly you had offered. Inshallah, we'll take you up on that. But we're getting up against time, and I can't let you go before having you talk a little bit about your book. Tell us a little bit about your book and what gave you this idea, and what can you tell us in a nutshell in 2 or 3 minutes about what your thoughts were as you were compiling.
So the book, the book is about all of the people I've seen in my life who I've found have solved problems and who found effectiveness in their respective domains, whether it's work, home, family, friends, country. So from people as inspiring as transformational leaders to people in my own family, to some of my friends, anyone who's ever taught me anything, they've inspired me to write this book. So the book is again divided into 3 parts. It's reflection, reflect, focus, execute. That's how I literally map everything I do in life. So it has 3 different segments. This book takes you on a journey from 0 to 1. It starts from a contract that you sign with yourself and your journey from 0. The chapters are also literally numbered such that you begin from 0 and end on 1. 1 being the state where you've found yourself, your real self. And that's different for everyone. A self that is effective, a self free from narratives and perceptions. Reflection is a repeated theme in the book, and it's the one tool that you can use to refine your decisions and choices, as I mentioned before, in your present. The purpose of this book is to help you and whoever's reading it find the best version of themselves. It's an ongoing, never-ending process in the journey of life that this book will help us, you, me, everyone, navigate that journey effectively. And that's pretty much what this book is about. It's literally a way to maybe 5 or 6 different ways of taking a good decision, making a choice, fighting ego, nurturing esteem, things that I found in real incidents with people doing them better than I did. And I've tried to put it in some mathematical formulas and some things that are doable and replicable for many others. So this is what the book is about. That's pretty much what it is. Simple book.
Thank you. And I had a chance to read the book, and in fact, I dispatched it to our team yesterday to place in our library. So this book will become a part of our library. I will encourage again our audience who's listening today, the current students especially, like Nabil mentioned, इसमें कुछ empirical चीजें, कुछ hard चीजें नबील ने list out की हैं, which you can start working upon, और उनको आप habits के तौर पे बना सकते हैं to help you create that focus in your life and help create a method to the madness. Because अक्सर औकात हम भूल जाते हैं on how to ensure that you can zoom into the 30-foot view and zoom out to the 30,000-foot view, and the sooner and the quicker that you can learn this the art of this the refocusing, I think your life it'll be a game changer in your life. So Nabil, thank you so much. We are at time, in fact 2 minutes over. Thank you for a wonderful fireside chat. The whole goal is to have a very candid conversation, and हम बहुत आपके मशहूर हैं कि आपने time भी निकाला, and you have poured out your heart in a very honest and inspirational manner. We hope कि inshallah very soon किसी time पे हम आपको on campus भी बुलाएं, We can talk about, you've given us a lot of very useful feedback as a university and as a center of higher education in how we can help make the difference both in the entrepreneurial world and in opening up the mindsets of the students जो हमारे साथ और हमारे through हमारे जरिए गुजरते हैं. We are a means to the end. So with that, thank you very much, Nabil. Inshallah, we will look forward to catching up with you next time, hopefully on campus this time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Aapka bahut shukriya. And universities, I think, paint the future of a country. So what you are trying to paint is something more significant than what Picasso did or Rembrandt did. So what you are doing is painting futures of people who will basically paint the future of this country. So if I can be of assistance in any way, in any of my humble learnings, I am always there to assist.
We will
Thank you so much.
Take you up on that offer. Thank you. Thank you for joining
Allah
us.
Hafiz. Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.